Welcome
Papa
to
Cash.
the Boys and Wigger host, Carlos Antiveros.
Shut the fuck up.
And here's
What's
my
up,
guest.
everybody? My name's Guy Stephen Celine. We
Yeah.
back at it again. Hold on. Ooh, that's too loud.
Yeah, I think you're.
What's up, everybody? We back at it again. It's your boy, Guy Stephen Celine. And you watching Durban Poison, baby. So,
Episode 4.
no, it's not episode 4. The fuck you talking about?
Dude, it's because I don't know the fucking numbers of the episodes. Like, we already
So
filmed
why would you
one
say episode 4 then if you don't know what the fuck?
We filmed an episode 2 weeks ago and you haven't released it. Come on, this is
It's coming out this.
Wait, this is Durban Poison, the #1 podcast. I'm being like, okay, fuck.
Sir, we need to tell the people what we're about to talk about today.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
A conspiracy theory.
We're not about-
Stupid ass.
We're not about to talk about a conspiracy theory. We're
It's
about
a
to talk
stupid
about a
ass.
movie, which is
2001 in Space Odyssey.
2001: A Space Odyssey from Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about a movie because it relates to the moon landing conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, I have one question for you. You know what I'm saying? So, and you gotta answer me in all honesty. Do you think the moon landing happened?
It's because, of course, for me, it's just. I'm fucking pissed at this because I really think the moon landing really happened because a lot of people died because of those experiments. So, and
At the end of the day, Carlos, most of the people alive right now,
host
most
Carlos.
relax.
Barros.
Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about host Carlos Santiago. You a stupid bitch.
Episode 4.
Shut the fuck up. It's not episode 4.
Okay, continue.
So I was saying most people alive right now weren't even alive when the moon landing happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my first thing that makes me think that it's a little weird is that in 1969, right?
Yeah.
Most people didn't have TVs at
I
home.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So I read an article where that was telling people that the moon landing was broadcasted on TV, right? But most people that watched it, they watched it on the street because they didn't have TVs, at home. So those little displays of TVs on the street.
Yeah, of course.
That's where people watched it. And mind you, people only watched it, live in America. People didn't watch it live in Europe or Africa or whatever. They watched it if they really watched it like days later, or they heard about it in the newspapers. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the moon landing didn't happen, right? But the fact that we haven't returned since 1968 is a little odd to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
But
I find that point amusing. Continue.
okay, go ahead. So yeah. I want you to tell me what you think about that because I've heard like a few scientists, giving arguments about the fact of why we haven't gone back.
Okay, I'm gonna say my theories about that because that mission, of course, it had like a big budget, just for that.
A big budget of flights in Hollywood somewhere.
No, but okay. So the moon landing just happened only because they wanted to beat the Russians.
Okay, so
That's it.
you believe that the moon landing happened like in real life, right? But why would you sustain to the theory that the moon landing happened because the Americans wanted to beat the Russians? Because this assumption discredit the veracity of the moon landing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that. We staged the moon landing because we wanted to be first on the moon. You know what I'm saying?
But that would be like a terrible lie and also like very manipulative.
It would have been a terrible lie, just like many lies that have been told to a lot of people right now. So the moon landing compared to a lot of things that happen is nothing. And think about it, right? It's not necessarily that it's a conspiracy theory that it didn't happen, right? But think about it. It's possible to make a mass group of people believe something, especially at a time where the technology is not developed enough for people to have phones, even TVs at home, and all that type of shit. So most of the things that I had to believe in, it had to come from the newspapers or the black and white TVs. You feel me?
Yeah, really.
So why haven't we gone back?
Yeah, we haven't gone back. I mean, good thing like other people, they really want to do the work after 1969, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk and everything. But I feel like they they really have invented this type of technology to go back. So
What
I
do you
don't
mean
know.
invented this type of technology? If we've been there in the first place,
I know.
then why do we
No,
have
like
to reinvent the technology?
continue it because it already happened. So
Yeah.
like people are continuing. So maybe they want to make exploration more
Un-
easily than the first time they did, because the first time was kind of like an experiment, just right, do the rocket and thing. It was a pretty difficult mission because it was difficult to execute it.
it has been a difficult mission, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of people, just like you said, have died. And of
Yeah.
course, people have died, but at what cost? At the cost of the thing never happening. Because they've tried to go there so many times. It's not that they didn't try; they tried, but they didn't succeed. But they felt that they didn't succeed, but they felt like, okay, we have to beat the Russian, so we have to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is just my point of view that I'm talking right now. It's not necessarily, factual. It's just allegedly what I think it is. But we're gonna get to a point where we develop more, where we're gonna talk about the actual movie 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick, right?
Yeah.
And the movie came out 1 year before the moon landing. The movie came out in 1968, and the moon landing happened a year after.
Yeah.
So
tell them your theory.
it's not even a theory, it's factual, and anybody can
Oh.
see it, right? The moon landing happened in 1969, and the movie was made in 1968. But this movie was such revolutionary,
Yeah.
to the point that people around the world had never seen visuals like that. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, was in 1968.
Yeah, I know.
The shots of the moon was so realistic,
Yeah.
to the point that it looks exactly like the moon that we know right now. If we go on Google and type it up, oh, what's the moon look like? That's what was in the movie in 1968. You know what I'm saying? Everything looks so perfectly well done and elaborate
Yeah.
that's probably why this theory, of Stanley Kubrick directing the moon landing, happened. So what do you think is the actual relation with the actual moon landing and the movie that came 1 year prior to that?
So I will say like 2000 Space Odyssey, it's a visual masterpiece.
Yeah, it is a visual masterpiece. Yeah.
And of course, like I get what people are saying about that theory.
But what is your argument? What is your argument?
So what?
But because I asked you before, you said you 100% believe that the moon landing happened.
Of course.
So I'm telling you that I don't necessarily believe that it didn't happen, but I question it a lot. You know what I'm saying? And questioning this specific matter over time had led me to believe that it might have not happened. But you telling me that you
Okay.
believe that it happened. So what's your argument?
So my argument is, it's gonna sound a little like
Is that
mean, but there's my argument. It's a little ignorant that people think that the moon landing didn't happen, because it was a lot of dedication, and also there was people involved, like for example Neil Armstrong. Like it would be very ignorant if you know like what really happened to him after the moon landing. Like he was, I mean, how he described it, it's something else in the universe that is
okay,
not
Carlos?
for us.
Listen, let me tell you something. Ignorance means not having the knowledge of something. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
That's why.
we, you and I, are ignorant on on this matter because we weren't there
Oh
when
yeah.
that happened.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And that lets you know that millions and millions of people are in the same situation as us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which means that there's a possibility that we might think something could be true when it's actually not true.
Maybe.
And you say it's ignorant to
But-
think that it don't happen because there was devotion and
I still agree with my argument.
no, you say people think it's ignorant to think that people don't believe it happened because there was devotion. There was people that put the people that died and everything. In every single thing that happened, people gotta die. You know what I'm saying? It's very sad
Yeah.
because every experiment that led to something great had made a lot of people die. You
Yeah.
feel me? But this specific experiment have been tried so many times. That's why there was so many missions that failed.
Okay, let me tell you. So my source, it's history. It's something about.
Bro, I've given my argument since we started. If you really believe that it happened,
again. I'm gonna.
no. If you really believe that it
Let
happened,
me-
you would have given me arguments.
Bitch, let me speak. That's my new quote of the show. I would say that history, as humans, we get knowledge from other people. That's how the world
Exactly.
works. So if Americans would fake this accomplishment, like why the fuck?
Why not?
It's based on a lie. It would be actually very terrible for humanity. Being lied
Let me tell you something,
by
Carlos.
our own
We gonna
expectations.
okay, so we're
Damn, that
gonna
was
we
good.
gonna he said damn, that was good. Like he did something. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker.
I am the host. I'm the fucking host, dog.
Okay, so let me say something. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
So I'm gonna exit the topic a little bit to talk about accomplishment and everything and knowledge that's been passed on, right? I believe that whatever happiness that you go through as a human right now, wherever you are, has been at the expense of somebody suffering with it from far or near. Has been at the expense of somebody suffering. For me to be a black man sitting out here choking in this mic, somebody had to die. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King had to be killed. You know what I'm saying? Slavery had to happen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things had to happen, and then over time it changes, right? But the moon landing happened only in 1968, which is barely 52 years ago, 51 years ago, right? If 51 years ago, you as a powerful fucking country has this type of technology and tell the people that you lost it, that's why we can't go back, that is a big fucking problem that we need to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. It's not even about the moon landing not happening. It's about the indoctrination of the people that all think that it could have happened when it could have not happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying they believe it when it could have not happened. And to go back to the ignorance fact, it would be very ignorant from anybody to just believe it without questioning it. You know what I'm saying? If you believe something happened and you believe that it happened, you need to be able to have the right arguments when you talk about a specific topic, especially when you believe it happened.
Continue, guys.
Bitch. See what I'm dealing with?
Now, big. I think this is a stupid ass argument. Like I'm done with this shit.
Bro, you can't argue. If you can't argue,
Dorman poison.
don't be believing in something if you can argue about this shit, bro.
Let's time travel. Let's fucking time travel right now.
Time travel wouldn't make a difference, right? Even if we time travel, we still would have been in the unknown because most people back there didn't even know. They heard about it in the newspaper.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like that was recorded. Like, why would people make an effort to do that if they're just gonna film it? So,
Bro.
just think about that.
The power of the great man doesn't always rest in his actual power, because his power rests in the perspective that other people have of him. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how powerful that you think you is, you're never gonna see yourself as powerful as somebody else that fears you. You know what I'm saying? And that was the the Cold War between Russia and the United States. So somebody had to do something in order to achieve something before somebody does something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame them. I would have done the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? But we as a people that live in the mass, right? We don't always need to know stuff. We don't always need to, understand if it happened or not. We sometimes we just have to take it, live it, and then that's it because we're not part of the elite. But you as a person, if you're trying to, get out of this motherfucking mentality and become an elite, that's how you gotta start questioning a lot of stuff. And once you start questioning a lot of stuff, that's when you're starting, discovering that shit. Maybe I didn't know as much as I think that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Because I was put in the position to believe what I believe. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you're saying.
I,
No.
I could go even deeper with religion and Jesus, but I'm not gonna do that because it's the moon landing. But it happens. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
You were gonna touch religion into this?
A little bit.
That's JFK. And what he's saying is something masterful. How the fuck would he act by saying this? This is what he says.
What the
We don't
fuck?
go to the moon because it's easy. We go to the moon because it's hard. They
Bro.
fucking accomplished that.
Bro, you're not talking to a people of
I'm done with your fucking ignorance that we didn't went to the moon. That's
sir.
we are
It's
humans.
it's one thing to give arguments
Okay, I'm
about a
not-
matter.
that's not the correct-
And it's another thing to be a fucking bitch ass hoe and not knowing what you're talking about. You
Put
put
the fucking JFK speech after the fucking podcast and let everyone see that masterpiece. Because JFK was a human like us. And he gave us
exactly. That's why when he started talking, he got killed, right?
that. What's up, Jeff?
We can talk about JFK conspiracy theory and see
Dude.
how it relates to the moon too, but we don't have time for that. But we don't have time for that. But
JFK.
I'm gonna tell you something that
JFK.
if I tell you that JFK didn't believe the moon landing happened, you probably not gonna believe me, but that's fine because he himself didn't believe it happened. But it's okay.
Oh, you met him, right?
What? Why have you met Neil Armstrong?
I am Neil Armstrong. Okay, no.
Okay, so let's talk about the moon.
Let's go. And let me tell you something. Guy, Stefan's motherfucking Celine. The moon landing happened. Okay, I won the fucking argument.
Okay, you.
Continue with.
Okay, so he won the argument. So according to Carlos Ontiveros, the moon landing actually happened, which is his prerogative to believe it. So my next question is, what do you think about the movie? So what do you think the symbolism in the movie represented?
Yeah, I think like all about like, the movie is about it's about the evolution of humans.
Of humanity, not
Humanity.
humans.
Humanity. Yeah, that's true. Of humanity.
Yeah.
You know, and it tells a story. At first, it tells about like the primates, monkeys,
Mhm.
and like there's an object that appears. So that object, for me, like the symbolism is like an object that evolutions the human race.
Exactly. But to me, that represented like the only piece of technology that we remain on the planet, regardless
Yeah.
of the age and era of the human being on the planet, right? Because the thing didn't appear; the thing was already there.
Yeah.
The thing was already there, and the monkeys, the gorillas, discovered it. You know what I'm saying? So they were getting into in contact with something, that looked out of space, but it was actually from the Earth because this was going to serve as the pathway to the greatest evolution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it goes from like the primate stage to the we go to the moon stage.
Yeah.
That happened in the year 2001.
2001. Yeah, that's
You feel me?
Yeah, and so after like it tells the story of the astronaut, their relationship with Hal.
Yeah.
It's not human, it's robot. So you get that thing together, and they have their own beliefs
Mm-hmm.
of humanity. So that's what it's about. Yeah, what you said since the beginning. It's about humanity, and I think it's like a beautiful, long ass story. But
It was a long ass movie.
But I think it's something unique that Carrick thought about. Like
It's something that humanity needed. That's why a year after that, Hollywood.
we fucking filmed everything.
As you come to think about it, so let's say let me say this. If the moon landing didn't happen, right? And if it was shot in a Hollywood studio, does that mean that we on the moon right now? Because we're right next to Hollywood. The studio was there. So we on the fake moon that was there. We were like right next to it.
Don't fuck.
Carlos is mad. He mad. Yeah. You are mad because you know
I'm not mad.
You said, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid asshole." So, like, technically, if the thing didn't happen and if it was shot, if it was shot in a Hollywood studio, that means that we're right next to it because it's right there. We're in Hollywood. You feel me? So you should be proud to, at least if you believe in it, you should be proud to, be right next to the stage. That's yeah. Let me give you another argument, right? I might take it from the perspective of lighting. I'm a cinematographer. You know what I'm coming from already. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm about to say is the actual fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? The moon is only lit by the only light that lights the fucking moon is the sun. Come sit your ass down. It's the sun that hits the moon, right? So at what time did the moon landing happen? At what
Stupido.
In what position was the moon at the time? And how enough was the light that took from Earth to the moon? How enough was it for it to be that clear in those footage? You know what I'm saying? Because because that was 1968. In 1968, Hollywood used big ass lights. You know what I'm saying? It's not like right now we have those low arrays that are very powerful. Back there, they used to use like big ass lights, so they have to like transport it to somewhere. So that might be it is like one of the disadvantage of my argument, because that tells me that they couldn't affect it. But why did it look so well lit? You know what I'm saying? And you know how light works. When you're sitting right here, if the light is hitting you from here, your shadow is gonna be casted in the back, and that's vice versa in every position. You know what I'm saying? Their lights were casted in one direction, and the back was like fucking dark. If the moon is big enough, right, is big enough to receive the sunlight hitting, right? Right now we're on the earth and the sun is hitting the earth, right? But once we look at a distance, we don't see no dark spot. We see that the sun is lighting. The dark spot are happening like far away, maybe like on, going toward the east. You know what I'm saying? Because the times is going to change. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to see the dark, we're going to have to go high the fucking up and look to see where the sun is, not spilling. But in that footage, if that was really the sun, because that's the only thing that could have been able to light the place.
I'm done with this shit. Don't poison the system for now.
Bro, I'm destroying Carlos right now, but I feel like
you're not even destroying this thing.
But I feel like if there was somebody that had better argument that believed in it, the argument would have been better. You don't have the arguments. That's why you don't.
I don't have the arguments. I don't believe in humanity.
Enough. Enough.
You know what? Fucking this shit. You know what?
Cut. Bro, subscribe to our channel.
I'm
Please
done with this.
Wait for the next episode next week. Thank you.